Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Pageant Sit Down. I'm your host, Regina Lena. I see that there are a lot of people here already watching for our guest, so I'm not going to let you guys wait too long to meet her. Ladies and gentlemen, I have a fantastic guest. I'm actually nervous to interview her because she has interviewed me, and I know how intimidating she could be when she asks questions. But she's also here as our USA Acheivement, and she is known as the CEO of PageantryNow. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Pageant Sit Down, Stayc Simpson. Hi, Stacey.
Hi. So much for doing this, Regine. I got to be honest, I'm a little nervous myself. I'm not used to being on this side of it, so be kind. I don't think I gave you too hard of a time, but we never know how this thing is gonna go. So
No, you were great. You were great. But sometimes when you're interviewing a person who's so used to being interviewed or being the interviewee, it gets a little tricky, but we're gonna make things work. There are a lot of people who are here watching you, but there are some who don't know who you are. So Stacey, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. I am the reigning USA Acheivement. As you heard, I'm competing for the title of Acheivement World in July, so it's just around the corner. But on top of that, my real life, not that this isn't my real life, but I am also the CEO of PageantryNow. Like you said, PageantryNow started almost 7 years ago with it designed to be able, like what you're doing, to interview title holders and give them an opportunity to share their stories and their why we do this crazy thing called pageantry, because it's kind of bananas. And then my job that actually makes me money is Gymagination. It's a gymnastics company, and we service right now over 375 students teaching gymnastics, Ninja Kids. If you've ever seen them on YouTube, we have their program. And then also Zumbini, which is Zumba for babies. So there you go. That's my real life. And I live in Miami, Florida with my husband, Michael. Oops, and my sash is not accommodating me right now. And I'm a 3-time cancer survivor, so a lot of people know me as the cancer lady. But most recently, my work has been with the American Heart Association. I'm a national spokesperson for them because I was diagnosed with terminal cancer 25 years ago, but the chemotherapy and the radiation that I received to save my life actually damaged my heart. So I have had a double bypass, and my heart is actually failing. And I was the first woman to ever receive stem cells to repair the damage to my heart. So there you go.
Wow.
Crazy, right?
Crazy. Yes. You have definitely gone through a lot, and I think that's why you're such a heartwarming, compassionate person, because you know what it's like to be at your darkest moments. But I am so glad that you are a 3-time cancer survivor, because that just shows that your mission in life is not over yet. And that's probably why you're here, because there's still more to your purpose that we still don't know. And I'm just so grateful to have you on the show. I don't know if you know this, but you actually inspired me to start the Pageant Sit Down, because
Are you serious?
I was a guest on your show, and I'm a co-host on a different podcast. And so seeing you do it, I'm like, there needs to be more women doing these things, especially in pageantry, and we need to bring it to Canada somehow. It's always in Florida or always in the States. So thank you, first off, for that.
Well, thank you. And thank you for following my lead. That was one of the things that I've noticed is I've pulled back a little bit on doing interviews because I've been really busy. You would think in the middle of a pandemic that a gymnastics company would not be flourishing, but it is. And so I've had to step out of that space a lot more. And it's wonderful to see the people like yourself that are stepping in and going, you know what, I can do this too. And I love that. I love that about live streaming. And that really was the moment that PageantryNow started was on the red carpet at Miss Universe, the Oops Miss Universe 2015. I was the last person to interview Steve Harvey, and then I realized, before he went on stage, and then I realized, wow, wouldn't it be cool if we could do this live as we're doing? And that was before live streaming was something that was really well known. It was just a few apps that you could do it. So I love the fact that it's so open now and there's so many more opportunities. So thank you for doing it.
Well, thank you for starting it.
My pleasure.
Well, I think it's amazing that you've had these opportunities to interview a bunch of different Miss Universe, including Pia Wurtzbach, who, like you said, was the oops in the pageant world and kind of brought more light onto Miss Universe, I find. But you also recently got to interview the reigning Miss Universe. What was that like?
They all have very individual personalities. I mean, they're human beings, but Andrea was fun. We had fun, and that was the thing that I really loved about it was I got to get to see the lighter side of her. It flowed really nicely. I interviewed Catriona as well, and Catriona was that same bubbly, happy personality. And Andrea really, you can see that she really wants to make a difference. She's really about changing her world and being able to use this title in a positive way. And I said to her, just like Catriona, she wore red. She competed before and was a runner-up before for another system, and then stepped into the Miss Universe stage and went, you know what, this is mine. And I love that. And it really was one of those, it just goes by so fast. 30 minutes was like a blink.
Yes.
So she was amazing. I had so much fun. So
I love that. Well, I do have a question for you from one of our viewers, Ralph Sambit.
Hi, Ralph.
They say, hello, Stacy. How are you? What was your inspiration to follow and be a part of beauty pageants? That's a great question.
That is a great question. Actually, I have Asperger's, which a lot of people would never know. It's a spectrum disorder of autism. And my first pageant I competed in when I was 16, so almost 40 years ago. I am also a survivor of sexual and physical assault. And 3 months after I had to have reconstructive surgery to put my face back together, my mom entered me into a pageant to be able to raise my self-esteem. Wow. Now, I had always followed Miss Universe and Miss USA and Miss America, so I thought, okay, this is what I want to do. My mom thought I was a little crazy for doing it, but she's like, well, let's try it. And my first pageant, I was first runner-up. Wow. And I kind of caught the bug big time. So then I did a couple of little local pageants and then decided we're going to go for Teen USA. So that was my first big pageant. I did not win the state. There was 150 girls competing the year that I competed for Florida Teen USA. And honestly, I didn't really care that I won or not. It was just such an empowering moment to learn about myself and how to speak to people and really how to carry myself in a way that I was unaccustomed to. I didn't know how to make eye contact. I didn't know how to use body language in a positive way. And the thing that's been great about pageantry is that not only has it enabled me to have these opportunities, but it allows me to use Asperger's as my superpower, because I see things in other people that allows me to pull things out of them that maybe we wouldn't normally know. Like asking Pia Wurtzbach, do you like frogs? Why or why not? So.
Yes, and you asked all of us ever since then.
I do.
So here's a real question. Do you like frogs?
Okay. I love frogs. And when I was a child, I lived in Michigan, so we had like a creek nearby, and I liked tadpoles, the little baby frogs. Yeah. And so I would catch the tadpoles and watch them grow and then take them back to the pond and set them out. And we just started a hydroponic garden in our backyard, and we now have tree frogs living in the hydroponic garden. And I geeked out when we saw it. My husband's like, it's a frog, Stacy. I'm like, but it's a frog. Take pictures, take videos. He's like, it's just a frog.
Oh my gosh. Did you send it to Pia?
No, I hadn't even thought, but she doesn't like them, so I don't want to scare her. Like that. That's not her.
That would be mean, yeah. Well, Stacey, I'm so grateful that you're so open and honest about why you got into pageantry and the journey before pageantry, because there's not a lot of people who will open up and share their story like you are, and I think it's great for people to hear as well. I know I did an interview with somebody and their daughter has mild autism, and when I was saying, oh, maybe your daughter might do a pageant one day, he was like, oh, only if they're for people with disabilities. And I'm like, no, let's put a stop to that right now. And so I do hope that they will listen and they see this interview and realize that you are more than just what the doctor says you are.
Absolutely. And that's really been my story all along. I think that the things that happened to me when I was younger, the spectrum disorder, all of those led to when they told me I had 8 weeks to live at 30,
What?
for me to say, no, this is not what's going to happen. I can figure out a way. So, a lot of doctors thought I was being unrealistic. And I said, well, you said that there's a trial. Let's do the trial and see what happens. And that medication now is what they use to cure the kind of lymphoma that I had. But I had two huge tumors. I had one the size of my heart, size of my hand attached to my heart, and the other one went from the tip of my shoulder and wrapped around my neck, which is why my voice sounds kind of weird sometimes, is because it actually was wrapped around my vocal cords. So
oh my
crazy.
goodness. Well, like I said, your purpose is so much more, and that's why you're still here with us and you're surviving so much. But hopefully you have a break from all this medical stuff soon, especially because you are going to be competing in the as USA Acheivement coming up very soon. What is it like to be back on the pageant world?
I have to be honest, I'm a little nervous. I didn't think that I would be a little nervous. I mean, I think that it's good to have nerves, but I've got some really amazing women that are competing beside me, and I admire their journeys, and I really look forward to hearing more about what they're doing and how they're changing their world. And I was for a while saying I didn't care if I win or not. Now I'm kind of like, okay, we're 4 weeks out, and I really want to win the title because I love this ability to be able to share my story and hopefully empower other women to come out and to realize that pageantry is really about being a positive role model for other women across and men too, around the world. And you can change so much by using your voice and using your crown and your sash. So
100%.
Kind of crazy.
Well, I'm really excited to see you back competing, and I'm wishing you all the best of luck. There's so many people, but I know that you're going to do really well, and you have a lot of fans following. Ralph says, it was great seeing you live, Stacey. Have to go. May you and Regina have a wonderful and blessed evening. Well, thank you for joining us.
Salamat. Thanks so much, Ralph. I appreciate it.
Oh, is he Filipino?
Yes.
Oh, well, welcome to the Pageant Sit Down. And Sarah Edmonds is in the chat. She goes, I'm so excited because she sees you here.
Hi, Sarah. Thanks so much. I didn't bring the puppies. The puppies are locked out right now. So if they come in, we'll let you know.
I mean,
she's hoping we have doxies.
Well, Sarah's son, when we had her interviewed, he kept wanting to come in the room. So
you know what? It's life, and it's live. So they're really, if someone knocks on the door, the dogs obviously will bark. For the most part, they're pretty good when I'm ever interviewing somebody else. I know that when I go into the studio that they have to be quiet.
Oh, they're trained. They know.
Hopefully they know. One is a service dog, so he's not supposed to bark, but he doesn't always play by the rules.
I love that. Well, I have a question for you. So your platform is Smart with a Heart. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Sure. So Smart with a Heart is an idea that I came up with very recently because I've worked with so many different charities, and I was passionate about so many different ideas that I wanted to try to bring them all together under one umbrella. So education is a foremost for me. Obviously, overcoming, I don't even say overcoming, just dealing with my autism, but I'm also an ABA specialist. So I work with children that have autism, and my gymnastics program focuses on children with special needs. So education is super important to me. Obviously, cancer awareness, being a time cancer survivor, I'm currently going through chemotherapy. They just found another tumor in February, so I'm undergoing treatment right now. So that's super important to me as well. And then the heart part comes from the cardiac awareness and heart health, having to have a double bypass in 2015, going through everything I've gone through with heart failure, and then the side effects that come from everything that I've been through. And then more recently, I've really been focusing on eco awareness as well, and eco education. Being in South Florida, there's so much that I see that's going wrong with the beaches, with wildlife, with how it's affecting our weather, everything that's happening. So I'm trying to raise awareness in all of those areas and still, keep it in one umbrella. I don't even know that it does that, but that's where Smart with the Heart came from.
Smart with the Heart is everything that you are and everything that you stand for. So you are the umbrella.
It is the Stacey umbrella.
There you go. Well, I love that. And so if people wanted to learn more about Smart with the Heart, where can they find more information?
So you can go to @smartwithaheart_ at the end, or even look up Smart with a Heart on Instagram, and then Smart with a Heart also on Facebook. And honestly, there aren't a whole lot of followers right now. We just started doing videos that are more eco-friendly, but we'll be doing more on education. I've been doing a lot of appearances for the American Heart Association. I haven't been doing a whole lot with cancer awareness, just because I got to the point where I was like, oh, she's that cancer girl. And I was like, no, man, I'm a little bit of everything. So let's focus on a little bit of everything. So they can find it Smart with a Heart.
I love that. I love it. So a question here on Instagram, which was one of my favorite questions that I was going to ask you. Who is your favorite person so far that you've
Gotta be Catriona.
Oh.
Has to be Catriona. Because I didn't realize, you would think Catriona Gray meets so many people over the course of her, Miss Universe, meets so many people over the course of her year. And when she gave up her title, I was there and I got to speak to her again. And she's like, I remember you. You're the frog lady. And I thought, okay, like how crazy is that she would even remember that interview, and it was just so charismatic, and there was something just so magical about her that I've loved everybody that we've had on, but she is one of those ones where I just go, yeah, I interviewed Catriona Gray.
I love that. I love that. Oh my goodness. But you also got to interview Steve Harvey before he messed up. So, maybe you made him nervous and that's why he messed up.
And the worst part was the question I asked him was, I literally had like a minute to talk to him, and they were counting down showtime. And I said, so Steve, what's going to make you the best host of Miss Universe ever? How are you going to bring the fun and bring your humor to this? Because clearly that's what they said. He goes, only one woman's going to be crowned tonight. All those women are going to be really sad because, we've got to make this fun because only one woman's going to get the crown. And I went, when two people got the crown, I was like, oh no. So
Steve, remember when you said only one woman was going to win the crown?
Yeah, and it was pretty chaotic. Like that whole experience was, I don't know if everybody else knows, but what happened afterwards, there was a woman that had a mental breakdown it was held in Las Vegas, my first time in Las Vegas. And she actually had a mental breakdown and drove up on the sidewalk as Miss Universe was letting out, and actually ran over 36 people. So the whole hotel, the entire Las Vegas Strip was shut down. They thought it was a terrorist attack. So we had some very passionate Filipinos stuck in the hotel together with some very passionate Colombians. That made for an experience where I was calling my husband going, I need to get out. I need to get out. Oh my God. It was my first time going to Vegas. It was a bucket list moment because I had always said I want to go to Vegas. I'd been to 42 states in the United States, and I'd never been to Las Vegas, and now I will never forget going to Las Vegas.
Oh my gosh, that is crazy.
Crazy. Yeah.
Well, at least, you didn't have to go very far for this year's Miss U was in your hometown.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I actually only went to costume night, so I had a really rough week that week. I wasn't feeling really well. I had tickets to preliminaries that I actually gave to a friend because she had never been, and I thought, when are you going to get this opportunity? I get to do this, and I'm blessed to have this opportunity every year. Uh, so for me, I thought it would be better for someone else to have that chance. And I mean, I got to watch it from home and, do my chair judging and go, oh, I like this. Oh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this. Or so, and costume is my favorite. Like, I love seeing costume because it really shows me personality and what the time and the energy that goes into it and what the teams put together are phenomenal. So I kind of like it.
So who was your favorite in a national costume?
I really liked Andrea's, and I liked, was it Denmark, The Little Mermaid? A lot of people
loved
didn't
it. Little Mermaid is my favorite.
But
So
me too. And I was like, okay, like that was adorable. There's Columbia was really pretty. I've got them all on my phone. It's just like to me, I like the attitude and the way that they come out, whether it's sparkly or not. I find that some of the costumes are the most amazing things that you'll ever see. So
100%.
kind of cool. It's cool.
So
it's my favorite part.
Mine too. I love seeing everyone's costumes and getting to learn a little bit about everyone's country. And I realized recently a lot of these costumes are becoming more political. Like Myanmar was very political, Mexico's, I believe, and then same with Singapore. So there's just so much that was going on, and I loved it. I love that they're able to use their voice. Using her voice is Sarah. Sarah says, "Thank you for being such an inspiration, keeping you in my prayers, Stacey."
Thank you so much. I don't know if I really, I mean, I talk about it a little bit about what I'm going through, but, I mean, I don't want it to be about that all the time, but I think it's an important part of my journey. So my pleasure to share.
She asks, if you didn't have Dutch hounds, what breed of dog would you have?
That is a great question. So the Dachshunds were not my choice at first. They were my husband's. He said if I had to get a dog, it had to be a Dachshund. Previously, I've had Chows and I've had Shelties. Neither of which are breeds that are great for South Florida because it's so hot here. Yeah, so that was a challenge. So I had the Shelties when I was in Texas, which Texas is still hot, but it gets colder. Here it's hot. It's always hot and muggy. So these dogs honestly have very seldom leave the house. Like we just moved into a home, but we were apartment dwellers for the last 8-9 years, and they stayed in the house. They didn't leave. So they're kind of weirded out by the whole going outside and having a backyard thing. Anyways, so I've had Chows, I've had Shelties. Growing up, I had Poodles because I'm allergic to dogs, but I love them. They're family. So.
But if you could pick any, like your dream breed to have, I think Sarah is asking, what would it be?
I really like. I don't know. Like I like big fluffy dogs. So
hence the Chow.
There was a point in my. Yes, it's a Chow, exactly. So like I like. I think they're Bernese. Oh gosh, there's a big fluffy. They're like big, huge sheep dogs. I can never remember, but they're like the rescue dogs. I don't know.
Have you seen a Newfie dog? Like a Newfoundland dog?
Yes, I like Newfies too.
I want one. So and the thing is, I'm terrified of dogs. But when I saw one, I was like, I want this dog. Yeah.
The bigger, the fluffier. Like there was a point where I thought about Great Dane, but they're not fluffy. So I was like, there's a lot of shedding that goes on with that. Because the shedding with short hair is very different from big dogs. So kind of. Newfies are cool though. I'm open. Like my husband's like, we're not getting any more dogs. We have 2. That's enough.
But they're his dogs.
And
you need your own.
My stash is just not.
It's
We
okay.
rescued one of ours. One of our dogs is a rescue. They were going to put her to sleep because she has some neurological problems. So we rescued her when she was a puppy. And she's my best friend. She literally touches my body all day long when I'm home. So if I leave the house, for 16 months, I was home every day, all day long. The first day that I went back to work after I got my second vaccination, she looked at me for like 2 hours. Like, where did you go?
Like, why did you leave
Why were you
me?
gone? Mm-hmm.
Oh my
And then it was all
gosh.
licky face.
Yeah, I can only imagine what it's going to be like for dogs now with everyone being home. Like, especially here in Ontario, we are finally opening up now, but we've all been in lockdown since basically Christmas. So I can't imagine.
Well, and yeah, I went into lockdown because we originally United States we locked down in March of 2020. In Miami, we opened back up the beginning of June of 2020. But then Miami really was the hot spot for the United States and a good part of the
Oh,
world
we
because of
saw.
our travel here. Yeah, it was crazy. My zip code, so like just not even my city, was getting 1,000 cases a day,
Oh my gosh.
which was crazy. Yeah, it was bananas. So then I went in lockdown and started running the business via Zoom. So my husband went to work every day. He slept in a different room, and we did not see each other than, watching TV for a little bit
Wow.
in different rooms or away from each other. So it's been an interesting
So you
experience. So
quarantined from each other.
yeah,
Oh. Well,
poor Mike, I know.
at least now, you guys have more time to spend together. I had another question from Instagram. How many people have you interviewed?
I don't know. That is a really great question because the first year that Pageantry Now existed, we did it on YouNow, which was the first live streaming system that we had. So it would live stream directly to YouTube. If you go back and you look at the archives, I did a show every single day for 365 days at 8 o'clock. Yeah. So in the beginning, I couldn't pay title holders to come on. So then I started just doing pageant prep and interview prep, and we had a couple of title holders that came on that were competing for National American Miss, and word started to spread amongst them. And then I, of course, was at Miss USA, and everybody went, "Why is this lady here?" And it was the same idea. We did YouNow, we did live streaming, and um, it's hundreds of people at this point, which is crazy. Between me and Fatima's, we've done several hundred. So I don't know. I've never counted.
That's crazy.
It's a great question.
Yeah, because you've now what? So you've done YouTube, you've done Facebook, you've done Instagram, you now have your own channel. Like, that's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah. I mean, and it's been fun. Like the progression through all of this has been super exciting. And I love interviewing everybody. I don't like just always having the big title holders. I mean, they're fun and that's exciting. It gets my heart pumping because I'm always like, oh my gosh, like this is like for real, legit, the big thing.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that the Miss Universe organization has been so wonderful with me. But I love interviewing, women that I would never have. Like I've met you, but I don't even think we remember. I don't even, because we met at Galaxy.
We actually never met. We met virtually.
We didn't. Did we really? Was that the first time?
Yeah, the first time I met you was when you interviewed me, and now I'm interviewing you. And then hopefully when Galaxy happens next summer, I'll finally get to meet you.
Oh my God, and I can't believe it's going to be 2022. But yeah. I mean, and it's been magical though. I love because now it's people from all over the world that I get an opportunity to get to know, and to me that is, I mean, it's the coolest part about this is that even though we're so spread apart, we still have opportunities to be able to talk and get to know each other. So
that's
cool.
So true. Well, Stacey, you've been a part for a while, and you host your own pageant show. You MC, you interview, you're now competing again. There's a segment on my show, which is 5 tips from a beauty queen. And I think you are one of the best people to ask this question. So Stacey, what would be your 5 tips for anyone watching us today?
So first and foremost, and I know everyone will tell you this, but be yourself. If you are trying to be somebody else, like if coach has said do this, or a coach has said do this, or a friend has said do that, and you win being somebody that's not yourself, it is going to be 365 very difficult days. So just be aware of that. If it's going to be a personality that you put on, make sure you're okay with doing it the entire time that you're going to be this title holder. Secondly, this is a job. Being a title holder is not just something that you do to look pretty and to have an opportunity to wear a crown and a sash, which every girl thinks about. I think every girl dreams about that moment of being a princess, no matter who they are, at some point in their life. But recognize that this is a job where you're representing a system. You're also representing yourself and your brand, and you're also representing different charities that you work with. So make sure that you look at the responsibility as an actual responsibility. I feel that, so that's number 2. Oh my gosh, I probably should have prepared for this. So 3 is don't be afraid to share your point of view. So when a judge is judging you, they shouldn't be judging your opinion. They should be judging how you speak and how you're able to back up your opinion. Sometimes pageantry gets political. That happens. And sometimes judges will make it that way. But you should never feel like you shouldn't have the opportunity to speak your mind. Of course, always make sure you're PC about it, but have opportunities to say what you need to say. Make sure that your social media, number 4, make sure your social media looks good. I mean, I know sometimes I put goofy stuff on my personal social media, but I know the judges that are judging my pageant are looking at my social media. I see when somebody starts following me and I go, oh, okay, be aware of that, because judges will take those opportunities. And you don't want to have something that's inappropriate. And it has bitten some major title holders in the booty for sharing stuff that maybe wasn't appropriate or that maybe was the wrong thing. And you can try to go back and scrub it. People will find it. Trust me. There is somewhere a video of me saying 62 times with a counter next to it. And then, just trying to make sure that you listen to yourself. So often you'll hear voices that are other people's voices telling you, again, what you should be, who you should be. But at the end of the day, you are your best guide. I listen to my lizard brain. That's the voice inside of your head that's constantly telling you, oh, that doesn't look good on you. Oh, that's not okay. Oh, you're not skinny enough for this. You're not fat enough for this. You're not this. It's all of those things that come up because we're no longer having to fight for our lives. So this little brain comes up and goes, guess what? I'm going to make you feel insecure today, and you're going to like it. So don't listen to it. Lean into the discomfort, lean into the excitement of this, because you'll learn stuff about yourself that maybe you didn't think was there. So there you go. Is that 5?
Yes.
I don't know.
It was. Well, those are 5 amazing tips, and they were not rehearsed, so it's authentic. So Stacey, if people wanted to find a little bit more about your journey or had more questions for you or wanted to get more tips, where can they find you?
Absolutely. So USA Acheivement on Instagram and Facebook. If you want to look at PageantryNow and look at some of my interviews, we are at PageantryNow on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. YouNow still has a page, but I don't know how much is still there on it. I have Twitter on all of them. I don't even look at my Twitter. That's my husband's job. You want to learn more about Gymagination, which is my gymnastics company. The name was brought up by a 3-year-old. He walked in and said, Miss Stacey, are we going to use our Gymagination today? And I'm like, as soon as I write that name down. So it's just like it sounds, Gymagination, and that's also on Facebook, Instagram. And then you can always find me at Stacey Shero on Facebook as my personal one. So there you go.
I love that, Gymagination. Oh my goodness.
And everybody messes up the name. I'm like, 3-year-old, Gymagination. There you go.
Exactly. Oh my goodness, I love that. Sarah has a question. She says, "What is one
Okay.
place in Florida you feel everyone that goes to Florida should visit?"
I hate saying it. It sounds so cliche, but I have two favorites.
Okay.
So Disney World always is, it has been in the past my jam. I don't have children, but I love being a big kid. So and I have a thing for Disney.
Same.
When I was going through chemo, every other chemo, I would go to Disney.
Wow.
And then the other place is the Keys. So recently, I've been doing a lot of different activities in the Keys. I swam with dolphins a week ago. I swam with seals like 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago. There are amazing opportunities, and it's so breathtaking just to be able to see both the Atlantic Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico in the same place. I mean, where are you going to get those kinds of those opportunities? So I can watch the sunset on one side of the island and the sunrise on the other, which is fantastic.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah, it's pretty cool.
Sarah, I think we should go together to Florida.
You come to Florida, we will make it an adventure, I promise.
I have not been to Florida in maybe 10 years, and the last was going to, I think I went to St. Augustine. Maybe not 10 years ago. Maybe 10 years ago. It's been a while. It's been a minute. I need to go back.
Do you know, I have never been to St. Augustine, and everybody tells me that I need to go. So it's on the list. I just am like, we'll get to it, but then the Keys call and it's an hour away, and I'm like, let's go there.
Well, my aunt has a place there, so we usually go to her beach house, and we did.
Nice.
We got to see some of the historical parts of it, and it was really nice. It definitely coming from Toronto, it was a nice change.
Yeah, well, and it's hot here. That's the one thing. I always tell everybody, if you are not used to humidity and you're not used to heat, or if you have really curly hair, make sure you bring something to straighten your hair because, like, or to reduce the frizz, because my hair is always frizzy because this just whatever.
Well, we can't even tell. We can't even tell. You're all good today. Don't worry. So, Stacey, you're now competing as USA Achievement. What made you want to go back into competitions?
There's a really long story to it and a really short story.
Okay.
I have always, since I came back to pageantry at 35 after surviving cancer, because it was a way for me to tell my story. I really felt if I wore a crown, and I had a dream that I won a pageant, and that was how I would tell people about my story, because I really was all about driving the story. It really wasn't about being a title holder. And I think that's really where things changed for me, because when I competed when I was younger, I was always first runner-up, second runner-up. I never won a big title. And it wasn't until I think I had heart with what I was going into and passion about what I wanted to speak about. And a pageant was online called Miss American or Mrs. American Achievement or Miss America Achievement. And they had several divisions, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is for me. I had been told I wasn't thin enough to compete in regular Mrs. pageants. Literally, directors had told me, if you lose 30 or 40 pounds, I think you could win.
What?
I did the first major plus pageant, and I was told by the judges, we were told we couldn't let you win because you weren't plus size enough. And when I heard about Achievement pageant, yeah, there was some major body shaming 20 years ago, just in general. I mean, there still is, but I really wanted to break that mold. And this title was something that I had dreamt about. And then the person that started Galaxy is the person that started American Achievement. And Galaxy was born as the live pageant that was America Achievement. So our director, Diana Lawrence, was she was the second Mrs. Galaxy. She won the Mrs. Galaxy title. And she and I met at my first national pageant where I fell on stage.
You fell on stage?
Like Sandra Bullock face plant on the chiffon, the whole works, stood up, threw my hair back, and went, you know what? It's just going to be what it's going to be.
They took that scene from your moment. I hope you realize that.
For that, well, Miss Congeniality had come out 2 years before, so it was not.
Oh, so you copied theirs.
I copied them. I was like, I really, because I snort when I laugh. So if you get me laughing really well, I snort. My walk is always something I got to work on. I walk around the house going, I'm gliding here.
I love it.
So, and then Diana was the MC, so I met her and I just fell in love with her. And I interviewed her a few months ago, and she had talked about Ms. Acheivement, and I was like, oh, I'd love to be able to do it, but I don't have, because she has Dr. World, which I thought was a phenomenal idea, is for doctors to be able to compete. And I would love to be able to do it. I would love to be your title holder. And she says, well, that's what we're bringing USA Achievement back, and we're bringing back World Achievement. And she bought the trademark to it, and I'm like, I want to do it. Like, if I can't be Galaxy, which at some point I would love to be Mrs. Galaxy, but I love supporting the women that are competing for Mrs. Galaxy. So I'm like, this to me is still like winning Galaxy. Mm-hmm. If I can win this title, it's still part of that heritage. So there you go.
Well,
now you know.
Now we know. Well, I'm so excited to be able to see you. I know Dr. World is amazing. Crystal is amazing. And hearing all about it and knowing that there is this platform for women that are a doctorate, I think is great, because it's all about women empowerment and supporting each other and helping build each other up. And that's really what we need. But no, I'm so excited to see what happens for you in a few weeks. But you mentioned you want to do Mrs. Galaxy. Why haven't you?
Great question. So I think it's still, believe it or not, I like nerves. In the beginning, it was because I just couldn't afford it. I was always on a very tight budget. And I didn't have a partner that really supported me when I really was trying to consider doing Galaxy. Now my husband now is like so amazing. He's like, whatever you want to do, I don't care. Like, how much does it cost? Whatever. Like, we got money, just do it.
I love that.
Which is awesome. Like, Mike is the best. Like, I feel so bad for him because he's always like, we're going where? One of the pageants we judged, he was sitting between Miss USA and Miss America, and I texted him from across the room because I was geeking out. I'm like, you're sitting between Miss America and Miss USA, and he goes, where? Like, the first time we met Miss Universe, we were sitting at a table next to Miss Universe. We were at Miss Universe 2014. And I'm like, dude, man, that's Miss Universe. And he's like, okay.
He's like, where?
And we had 6 of the title holders, the national title holders around us. And I'm like, why are you tweeting on your phone? Like, can you pay attention to what's going on? He goes, I have a beautiful woman that I live with. Why would I care about any of the other women in this room? And even Gabriella went, oh, that's so sweet.
That is so sweet. Oh my gosh. I love that.
I guess it's been nerves that has kept me from being Galaxy. And I got to be honest, I still do have a little bit of a body complex. Like, I'm not the thinnest girl in the room, and I know that. I'm also 55, so like, the idea of competing against a 20-year-old in a bathing suit, I'm like, I know I could rock it, but so I'm getting that. Maria's trying to convince me. I want to. I think it, and I love the system. I love the director. I love everything about the history. So maybe after I win this title, then we'll do a year as World Achievement, and then go from there. Achievement World.
Oh my God. Yes. Okay. We're putting it out into the galaxy right now. This is going to happen. You're going to win in a few weeks. And then a year from now, you're going to sign up for Galaxy. And I cannot wait. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I got goosies.
Me too. Be careful what you say on this show. Be
careful what you say. I know. Oh my gosh. But Maria knows. Like, it's not a secret. Diana knows too that this is Galaxy has been my dream. And America Achievement has been my dream. So now to be USA Achievement and then going on for the world title is really, I really believe smart is beautiful. And I really believe that everything that we are trying to do is super, super important on how we change, how women see each other, and how we empower ourselves. So
Exactly. Well, you said smart is beautiful, and your platform is smart with a heart. Did you do that on purpose?
I did.
Oh.
I did. Well, and it didn't really intentionally happen that way, but as I was trying to figure out a way to encompass my platform, I really wanted to be able to stay true to smart with a because smart is beautiful, and trying to pull that into the tag. And smart with a heart just seemed to work. Like we even came up with a logo. So there's a logo that has it with education, and then it brings in heart awareness, echo awareness, and then cancer awareness underneath it as well. Because the Lord invented Canva, and I love it.
Me too. Everything I do is on Canva. I love it.
I love it.
It's so easy to use. You don't have to worry about like Photoshop. Photoshop is so much harder. There's so many different layers.
I know, and I that for me is way too much work. If I have to sit and figure out how to do a layer, but with Canva you can just go in, snip, snap, snip, and I'm done. And I'm like, okay, cool. That was awesome.
Exactly. We're not sponsored, by the way. We're just talking about it. We would both love to be endorsed. That would be great. So if anyone from Canva is watching.
Yeah, exactly.
You never know. So Sarah says, you got this. Age is just a number. You're beautiful. So when we're talking about the Mrs. Pageants, honestly, age is just a number. And like I said, you are on this planet for a reason. There's still a reason why you're with us, which we're so grateful for. And I mean, you just put it out to the galaxy that you want to be Mrs. Galaxy one day. So.
Well, and you are competing as well. So what compelled you to want to be Ms. Galaxy?
Oh, her interviewer just clicked on. What?
It clicked on. It's hard for me not to. But I mean, if we're going to put it out into the galaxy, why not?
Yeah, of course. Well, I actually said that I was going to retire from pageantry when I competed at Miss Universe Canada in 2017. I was like, you know what? This is the biggest pageant that I thought of. This is the biggest pageant here in Canada. This is it. I'm done. I've aged out. I can't do pageants anymore. I'm going to just end on the stage and I'll be happy. And then I saw Cindy, who I competed with back in 2016 at Canada's Top Choice pageant. And I saw her do Galaxy, and I was like, wait a minute, Cindy's older than me, and wait, what is Galaxy? Where can I find it? Exactly. And so when she said that she was bringing the franchise to Canada, she messaged me. I was like, sign me up. Take me out of early retirement. Sign me up. And so I'm glad that I did. I'm glad that, yes, I tell everyone I was so grateful to be first runner-up, but I knew there was more. I wanted more, and I knew that Galaxy was the pageant for me. I typically just do it once and then I'm done, but the fact that I came back, I literally signed up the day after. I was like, you know what? I'm good with first runner-up, but I want the crown, so let's do it again. And here we are 2 years later.
And I love that. First of all, pageantry, I don't think ever leaves you when you finally really catch the bug.
No.
And I have many times said, I'm done. I'm never going to come back. I'm retired. And then a crown will come into my peripheral and I'll be like, oh, maybe. Like, I could see myself wearing that. Or a director will come along that'll make me feel inspired. So more than a title itself, to me, it's about the relationships and the fact that you and Cindy have that relationship, and the fact that you feel it. You feel that this is the title for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's magical. Like, there's nothing better than going, you know what? Let's do it.
It's so crazy because remember how I was saying a few minutes ago, be careful what you put out into the galaxy. So when Galaxy Canada first happened in 2019, the reign was only about 5 months. And so I said to myself, it's okay that I'm first runner-up because I'm meant for a longer reign. I want to do so much more with my title. I didn't realize I'd have my reign for 2 years.
2 years?
Whoops.
Let's a Crystal Cavey. She's the 3-year. Well, if you include
the year.
Belleza.
Yeah.
And then she's been Maria's title holder for like 5 years.
Yes.
How cool is that?
It's so crazy. I think about it, I'm like, imagine if that was us. That would have been but you know what? Crystal is the perfect person for her reign and for her title at this moment because she's done so much with it.
I agree.
The last time I had her, or when I had her on the show, she was over 100 appearances. Like, I can only imagine how many more she's going to do with her reign being extended. She's going to kill it.
Yeah, and now that things are opening up, and she was doing such amazing appearances even in the middle of the lockdown here and trying to do things virtually, and I admire her. I was on the panel that picked her, and I remember when she walked out of the room, I went, whoa, wow. Holy smokes. So, I mean, she's got some gumption, and that was definitely one of those moments where I, as a judge, I walked away crying because I was so proud. I was proud of all of the title holders that year. They just are, well, they're still reigning, but they were all women that I felt so strongly about, and it was Galaxy. It has a place for it. Well, here, how much of a place does it have for me?
I love that. I love it. I want one. Well, did you see that?
That was a gift.
Cindy has her own merch store that sells all Canada Galaxy merchandise, and I'm sure she can send you something. Cindy, if you're watching, put it on my tab.
If you're paying yeah, that Maria gave me a Galaxy t-shirt, which I wear like all the time. So I wear t-shirts to bed at night. So the 3 t-shirts I wear are my Miss USA, my Miss Universe, and my Miss Galaxy t-shirt.
And you need an Achievement World t-shirt as well.
Well, I do have a Dr. World t-shirt, but it has Swarovski crystals on it. So wearing it at night is not the most comfortable. So, Diana, if you can get me one that doesn't have, all of her t-shirts are rhinestone, so I'll have to get one that doesn't have.
Cindy can make it.
Ooh.
There you go.
See, that's what I really want. I want a PageantryNow, like the logo of PageantryNow with like blings on it. Like so.
I'm telling you, honestly, so I'm going to just plug Cindy in because we keep talking about her. So she started her own company, Within's Creations. So she does do custom t-shirts, water bottles, everything for pageants and weddings and just to have.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so I'll tell Cindy to the show and hook you up with a PageantryNow something because you've had over 100 people on your show. I think you deserve it.
Thank you. I can't even believe like how crazy it's been. It has been a crazy ride, and it's been magical, and I love the fact that it's inspiring people like you to be able to do the same thing, because pageantry is such a unique place for people to be able to share their stories, and not enough title holders get an opportunity to really share why they do this. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of a crazy thing. Who wants to put themselves out there to be told they're not good enough?
Yeah.
And want it? Like, yeah. So, anyways.
Well, I think that's a good note to actually end the show. But Stacey, before we go, do you have any advice for someone like myself or someone who's watching and wants to start their own podcast in terms of pageantry or gymnastics or anything? Or about frogs? What would you tell us?
I honestly, I do not have a podcast, which is the one thing I should be doing. I do everything, live stream. But I really, if you have something that you're passionate about, that you think that other people want to speak about, try it. It's so strange to all of a sudden be speaking. For the longest time, I spoke just to myself. But it helps you to really develop your speaking skills, and you might find that there are a lot more people out there that want to hear about what you have to say and then want to join you in those conversations that you maybe don't expect. And I think it's worth it. It has been one of the best parts of pageantry for me to have these opportunities. And then honestly, everything I learned in PageantryNow, we were able to use for gymnastics. So when the shutdown happened, we ended up using my whole setup for PageantryNow for gymnastics, and we did live streaming for gymnastics for 3 months when the kids couldn't do it. They did it from home. You never know. You just never know. So try it, have fun, and enjoy every minute of it, because it goes by like that. So
it does go by very fast. So thank you for those tips. I'm only at episode 41. I mean, I got a long way to catch up with you, and you keep going, so I'll never catch up. But, it is inspiring to hear now your story, because I met you and you interviewed me and you got to know me, and now getting to know you on an even deeper level, it's just so inspiring. Like Sarah's been saying, you have inspired so many people, and continue to use your voice, and hopefully use your crown to continue to use your voice, whether it be with Acheivement World or, oh my goodness, there it is.
Have you seen it? It's like awesome. That's it. Here.
I love it.
Use your crown, use your sash, use your voice.
Exactly.
Any way you possibly can. Change your world.
100%. Well, thank you so much, Stacey, for joining us tonight. Like I said, it's been so great getting to know you even more on a deeper level, and I'm sure everyone who's watched has enjoyed it as well. And if you have enjoyed today's episode, please give it a big thumbs up. And if you want to learn more about pageants and learn more about the beauty queens that I interview, to this channel, as I go live every Monday and Wednesday. I'm not like Stacey where I go live every day. I don't know how you did that. But again, thank you everyone for joining us. Stacey, thank you again for spending some time with us. I know you're very busy with your gymnastics and your pageant prep and smart with a heart, but again, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
I am so blessed. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. I really, really appreciate it. You're an amazing queen. Keep doing what you're doing. We need more people like you in the world.
Thank you. And with that, we will see you all on Wednesday. Bye.